I'm Julie Russell. I've been a resident of Toccoa since I was about 4 years old. I have two daughters, one who passed away last year and an 18-year-old. And she had been complaining of feeling cold, her stomach hurt, just overall not feeling right, but she couldn't put it into words. And she went in her room to lay down, and I happened to come in and she just fell over. And I quickly realized she was not breathing. She had no pulse, nothing. I yelled for my husband to call for help. We needed help and we needed it then. It was a very serious situation.
Stevens County 911.
Heather, I think I just talked to you on that girl. She's unconscious. She barely has a pulse and she's breathing every 15 seconds.
Barely has a pulse. Have y'all started CPR?
Yeah, we've been hitting her with some CPR, but every time we'll hit her with the breath and 30 compressions. She'll come back, take a breath, and then she's out again. Her pulse is very, very, very faint. I'm standing out at the end of the road so they can follow me down to the right house and everything. We need somebody right here, right now, man.
I got them on the way. I've got officers running code to you, okay?
Thank you. She's bad. Thank you.
All right, just keep the CPR up, okay? Don't stop it. Keep the CPR going.
I had to come to the end of the road. Her mom's got it. Oh my God.
Once we arrived on scene, we saw the mother, and it kind of struck a nerve with us both because we all went to high school with the mother. So we knew right then that we knew the family, so it kind of put us in a different gear.
We know prior instances that the mother's had with which she's lost a child in the past. So
we was giving it all, and we were getting very little response from everything that we was doing. I remember whispering to April and saying, "We've got to save this girl."
And they were not giving up on her at all, trying, to save her just like it was one of their own. I mean, everything they did from start to finish was special. We proceeded to get in the vehicle and follow out to Stevens County Hospital.
As soon as we got into the hospital, and Dr. Utley was standing at the back door, so we were trying to provide everything in a quick fashion of what we've already done.
everything just fell in place for us that day, I felt like.
My name's Jennifer Utley. I'm an emergency room doctor. I have been in Stevens County now about 4 years, working in the emergency room here. And we have a radio where we can hear the EMS calls when they go out. And we had heard a young person that their heart wasn't beating. And EMS, I cannot begin to say enough about the care that had been provided on scene. They did everything right. They brought her in to our emergency room, and we were blessed. I work with great people. When you've got a team like what I've got, everybody knows their role, and we all jump in and start doing it at the same time. I don't have to say, you need to do this, you need to do it. It's not like that. My team is my team, man, and we work together.
What I remember when we arrived here was, she of course was already in the bag. All I remember at that time was being told that my husband and I could come back to be with her.
We immediately got her hooked up to our cardiac monitor. Respiratory was at the bedside. We immediately started resuscitating her. She tried so hard to live. We just kept doing more and more.
We went in the room where she was, and I see, a plethora of people working, diligently on her. Dr. Utley was great in being able to somehow perform, yet explain to me at the same time, this means this, while doing it at the same time. Everyone was just fabulous.
I would see movement in her face, or her arm would twitch, which told us that what we were doing was working. She was getting oxygen.
And so she started, she's breathing on her own, and her heart started beating, but it didn't last. Not even a minute or two, and we lost her pulse again.
But Dr. Utley is the doctor in a situation like that is the one that, says, well, let's do this, let's do that, let's give this medication, or this isn't working, let's try this.
one of the things you do in a resuscitation when someone's heart is out of rhythm is you use the defibrillator. Everybody's familiar with the shocks and stuff. And so we had done that repeatedly without improvement. I needed a second defibrillator and a whole bunch of equipment to do this. And I just said, hey, I need this. And then boom, people are off. I remember myself feeling discouraged, frightened that we weren't getting the result I wanted. But throughout this, there had been moments that she had moved, she had jerked around, she was fighting. I felt it. I felt it even more than I could medically explain it.
Her mom and dad were in there. I can remember several times making eye contact with her mother, and her mother was like, just pleading with us. Lord, we can't tell her that her baby's gone.
It was extremely emotional. I had a daughter that passed away a year and a half ago. It takes you back to the thought of losing.
And after literally over an hour of doing all of this and pulling out all the tricks and having all of my team be present and help, all of a sudden, she had a pulse. Air Flight gives us follow-up, and then we were able to call, and I talked to the team taking care of her over the next few days, and we got some gorgeous flowers that were sent that provided a wonderful reminder from the family that she was doing better and better every day.
It took a whole team, and I couldn't be more proud of everybody that was there that day.
I don't think there's many doctors out there that would have gave it as much as Dr. Utley did.
She comes and says, you guys, I couldn't have done it without you. Everybody worked so good together. We all saved that young woman. And a lot of doctors wouldn't do that. We have a tight-knit staff. And I'm so proud to be a part of this team.
About a month or so after she got home, she came by to see me, and I got to hug her standing up, not the young woman laying down with the resuscitation and everything that we were doing, but just a normal, beautiful young woman living her life. And in my job, there isn't much better than that. Her heart is the strong heart that pulled through this.
They saved her life wholly. When you go through something like that, when you've already lost one child, when you're scared about losing another, you can't even begin to express enough gratitude. With her condition beginning at, an offsite, not at a hospital, she had less than a 1% chance of making it. And so on her charts, it's written aborted, sudden cardiac death.